In the quiet halls of one of the country's most prestigious private academies, a secret was festering, hidden behind locked doors, whispered through text messages, and buried under the trust of a community that never asked enough questions. This is the story of Nia Carter, a gifted 16-year-old student who walked into a counselor's office seeking help, and never walked out the same. What followed was a chain of manipulation, betrayal, and ultimately, a tragedy that shook an entire school to its core. Stay with us as we uncover the chilling truth in The Counselor's Secret, a Tragedy at Clearwater Academy. If stories like this matter to you, if you believe in justice, accountability, and truth, then please like this video, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel for more real-life stories that deserve to be heard. Let's begin. It began with a phone call that shattered the stillness of an ordinary Thursday evening. 911, what's your emergency? A trembling voice cracked through the receiver. It's my daughter. She's in pain. Something's wrong. Please, you have to help her. The dispatcher tried to gather more information, but the caller's voice dissolved into sobs. Faint gasping could be heard in the background, then silence. What unfolded in the hours that followed would expose the darkest truths hidden behind polished walls, trusted faces, and institutional silence. This is not just a story about a tragedy. It's a story about trust violated, power abused, and the ripple effect of silence. Dr. Marcus Hale was a respected name at Clearwater Academy, a prestigious boarding school nestled in a serene suburban enclave. He was the school counselor, the man students confided in, parents trusted, and faculty praised. Calm, articulate, with warm eyes and an easy demeanor, he was the adult many teens felt safest around. "Marcus Hale gets it," one parent said during a PTA meeting. "My daughter opened up to him when she wouldn't talk to anyone else." To many, he was a godsend. But no one knew about the buried complaint from 5 years ago, filed by a student who had since left the school. A quiet whisper of inappropriate boundaries. Nothing provable. No concrete evidence. Just a girl who said she felt weird about how close he had gotten. It was dismissed, quietly. Nothing on record. And so Hale continued counseling students, helping them process emotions, hosting wellness workshops, and gaining near-universal trust. Nia Carter was 16 years old. A shy, intelligent girl with a gift for art and a heart full of questions. Her world had grown heavy lately. Sketches that once bloomed with vibrant color now wilted into shades of gray and crimson. Her mother, Valerie, was a full-time trauma nurse and a full-time single parent. She noticed the changes, Nia sleeping more, eating less, isolating herself, and decided to get help. The school recommended Dr. Hale. "He's the best we've got," they said. Valerie nodded. She had no reason not to believe them. Dr. Hale greeted Nia with a kind smile and an office full of calm pastels, leafy plants, and motivational posters. "This is your space," he told her. "You talk. I listen. No judgment." Nia hesitated but eventually opened up, about the pressure to perform, her father's absence, her artistic blocks, her growing feelings of unworthiness. Hale listened intently, taking notes with the precision of someone who understood pain. "You're not broken, Nia," he said softly. "You're just carrying too much. We'll unpack it together." She left the first session feeling lighter, hopeful, something she hadn't felt in months. What began as weekly sessions soon turned into private lunchtime check-ins and after-hours meetings in Hale's locked office. "You're different, Nia," he would say. "More mature than most your age." You understand things others don't." She didn't know how to process the way he said it. It felt both flattering and confusing. One day, he gave her a journal. "Use this to write anything you can't say out loud," he whispered. In the weeks that followed, the messages started, brief texts at first, reminders, encouragements, then longer, more personal ones. Late at night, she'd read them under her blanket. "I can't stop thinking about what you said today. You're incredibly brave. I wish I had someone like you when I was younger. You're the only one who really gets me." Nia was falling, emotionally entangled in something she didn't yet understand. It started as a flutter in her stomach, strange and unfamiliar. Nia brushed it off at first, chalking it up to nerves or skipped meals. But as the days passed, she couldn't ignore it. Her body felt different. She skipped a period. Then another. The nausea followed soon after. Morning after morning, her body betrayed her, and with each passing day, her fear grew. One evening, in the locked bathroom she barely used, Nia stared at a small white stick in her trembling hand. 2 pink lines. Positive. Her heart dropped. The world spun, and all she could think about was one name, Dr. Hale. That night, she didn't sleep. She lay in bed, eyes wide in the dark, clutching her pillow and replaying every word, every touch, every lie. Was it love? Was it real? Or had she been used? By morning, there was only one thing she could do. She sent a message. "I need to talk to you. In person." The reply was immediate. "Of course. After school. Office. You'll be okay." Dr. Hale's office was dimly lit that afternoon. The door closed behind her with an ominous click. "You look pale," he said softly. "Is everything okay?" Nia sat down, unable to speak. She opened her bag and pulled out the test. He stared at it. Then, for a moment, he said nothing. Then he smiled. "We'll get through this. Together." Relief, for a moment, washed over her. He stood, walked to a small cabinet, and returned with a bottle of water and a small cup of something amber-colored. "Drink this," he said, placing it in front of her. "It'll calm your nerves. You've been through a lot." She hesitated, then drank it. The liquid was bitter, almost metallic. "We're going to be fine," he repeated. But outside that office, the sun had already begun to set, and with it, so had Nia's sense of safety. That night, Nia didn't eat dinner. She told her mom she was tired and wanted to lie down early. Valerie kissed her forehead and let her rest. But Nia didn't rest. She tossed and turned, sweat beading on her forehead, her stomach twisting in knots. Around midnight, she stumbled out of bed, barely making it to the bathroom before she vomited violently into the sink. Her vision blurred. Her breath came shallow. The pain in her abdomen was sharp, stabbing, relentless. She tried calling out, but her voice cracked in her throat. The world spun. Her knees buckled. She collapsed. Moments later, Valerie, still in her scrubs, walked in through the front door. The house was too quiet. "Nia." She heard a sound, barely audible, from the hallway. A whimper. Valerie dropped her bag and ran. She found her daughter curled on the bathroom floor, pale, soaked in sweat, barely conscious. "Nia." "Baby, what happened?" Nia tried to speak, but only managed a garbled whisper. Her eyes fluttered. Her fingers twitched. Valerie grabbed her phone, hands shaking. 911. "My daughter's not breathing right. She's burning up. Please, we need help." The dispatcher asked questions, but Valerie barely heard them. Her mind was racing. She cradled her daughter's head in her lap. "Hold on, sweetheart. Hold on. They're coming." Sirens screamed in the distance. But it already felt too late. The emergency room lights were too bright, the beeping machines too loud. Valerie stood outside the trauma bay as doctors worked frantically. She couldn't hear what they were saying, only the rush of blood in her ears and the agonizing silence when they finally stopped moving. Nia was gone. The official cause of death? Unknown. But the symptoms were clear: rapid internal failure, uncontrollable nausea, and seizures. Something had poisoned her. Something lethal. The hospital ordered a full autopsy. Detective Mariah Rhodes was assigned to the case that night. She had handled more than her share of tragedies, but something about this one felt different. A 16-year-old girl with no prior conditions, dead within hours of showing symptoms? Something didn't sit right. When the toxicology report came in, it confirmed her suspicions. A rare compound had been found in Nia's bloodstream, not street drugs, not over-the-counter medication. This was a medical-grade sedative, illegal outside of clinical trials. Only a licensed professional could have obtained it. Mariah pulled Nia's school records and appointment logs. One name came up again and again: Dr. Marcus Hale. She turned to Nia's phone next. Messages, photos, notes. And there they were, the texts from Hale. Flattering, reassuring, manipulative. "We're in this together. Don't tell anyone, they wouldn't understand. You're the only one I can trust." The pieces started falling into place. And for the first time, Mariah saw the monster hidden behind the counselor's mask. Detective Rhodes dug deeper. She visited Clearwater Academy under the guise of an external consultant. The administration was cooperative, concerned even, but their shock seemed rehearsed. Defensive. Then came the interviews. One by one, students, past and present, were brought in. At first, they were hesitant. "He was intense," one girl said. "But he helped me, I think." Another remembered being invited to stay after school. "He said I had potential, that he wanted to mentor me." Most had nothing concrete to offer, just odd feelings, lingering discomforts, passing comments that in isolation seemed trivial. But then came Jasmine, a former student, now in college. She had dropped out of Clearwater her junior year. "I always knew something was wrong," she said. "He got too close. Kept texting me, even after I left." She had screenshots, late-night messages, flirtatious emojis, promises of a future no student should hear from their counselor. "Don't forget how special you are to me. Some people just can't see what we have. That's okay. Let them be blind." More girls came forward. And suddenly, Nia wasn't alone. She was the first to die. But she had not been the first victim. The courtroom was packed. News crews camped outside. Protesters held signs with Nia's photo. Parents clutched their children's hands tighter as they walked by. Dr. Marcus Hale, once the trusted school counselor, now sat in a tan prison jumpsuit, expression unreadable. Valerie took the stand first. Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled as she described her daughter's final days. "I trusted him," she said. "I thought he was helping her. I thought I was giving her what she needed." The prosecution laid out the case in devastating detail. The grooming, the toxic messages, the illegal sedative, the autopsy results. Then came the students. One by one they spoke, each voice cracking the illusion Hale had carefully crafted for years. He made me feel like I was special. He said I reminded him of someone he once loved. He told me to keep our sessions secret. When Hale's defense rose, they claimed emotional misunderstanding, consent, even mutual affection. But the jury wasn't convinced. After 4 hours of deliberation, the verdict came. Guilty on all counts. The judge's voice was cold and clear. Dr. Marcus Hale, you are hereby sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Valerie didn't cry. She held a picture of Nia in her lap, and when the sentence was read, she whispered, "We did it, baby. You're free." Clearwater Academy issued a public apology days after the verdict. "We failed to protect our students," the headmaster admitted on live television. "Policies will change. Counseling access will be restructured. We will never let this happen again." A scholarship was founded in Nia Carter's name for young women pursuing careers in mental health advocacy. The courtyard that once hosted Hale's wellness circles was transformed. Where his voice once echoed, a new sculpture now stood, Nia's final self-portrait, cast in bronze, standing tall beside a plaque that read, "She spoke through art. She lives through change." Detective Mariah Rhodes returned to her desk, a framed drawing from Nia resting by her computer. Her latest case involved another teenager in crisis, but this time the school flagged the issue early. They learned. They acted. Valerie visits the memorial every year on Nia's birthday. She doesn't stay long. Just long enough to lay flowers and whisper, "Your story saved others." Because in the end, Nia wasn't just a victim. She was a warning, a voice, and a legacy that broke the silence.